From the research guide, this will be the first Colts-Broncos game without Peyton Manning involved since Week 5, 1993. And that was October 3rd, 1993. And I just thought maybe a little trip down memory lane. I wrote about this on the end around. I thought you guys might be interested in it. We were all alive at that time. Greg, maybe not. Greg was born in like 2007 at 32 years old. That's a theory that's out there in society.
I was living my life at 14 more than y'all. I was out there.
I can tell you what I was doing in 1993.
All right. So the number one single on October 3rd, 1993 was Dream Lover by Mariah Carey. Remember this banger?
Oh, yes. At the height of Mariah Carey's powers, I would say.
Also the height of the good girl phase.
Before she turned into a bad girl.
Before ODB.
Is that what you're...
Before ODB came into the mix.
Before ODB came and changed everything.
That was where it changed.
The number one movie on that weekend, the last game between the Broncos and Colts, without Peyton Manning involved, was, and this is a bit...
Ooh, I could guess.
This is a bit fortuitous. Go ahead. You'll never get it.
The Good Son.
No, wait, how would you even be close to that? That was the number 2 movie.
Because I went to a movie with my dad that week in November 93 and remember what movie it was.
Whoa. It was the number 2 movie in America. But the number 1 movie in America was a tepid medical thriller starring Alec Baldwin and Nicole Kidman called Malice, which has been forgotten completely by society, but does include some peak Baldwin that we've known on the show.
You ask me if I have a God complex? Let me tell you something. I am God.
It's a great movie, actually.
Wasn't like every movie in the 90s had Malice in the title or something?
Yeah, it had to be a rule. It was usually 2 words and Malice in there somewhere. And the number 1 sitcom of in October 1993 was
Seinfeld.
Simpsons?
No and no. Wes?
Oh.
Well, you've already answered. Sorry, Mark.
Cheers was already gone, right?
I know what it is.
Friends?
No, they weren't on the air yet.
I'm going Frasier.
All wrong. This is the answer. Home Improvement.
Oh, my God. What
Let's hear it
a
again.
cultural wasteland 1993 was.
Let's hear that again, Sid.
Well, it's good to know America's not dumber now than it was then.
Have you seen our presidential candidate?
Always been dumb.
Greg, a secret JTT fan. Have you ever been to Greg's house? Albums committed
Still have that
to
poster
JTT.
of him on the back of your door?
You know, I'm thinking about, Sid, I was thinking about maybe bringing back.
No.
Why not?
No. What does it even mean?
It means
it's a little
you're
too
a guy and you just need your space and you want to get in the garage. You want that wife to get off your back every once in a while. You just want to go. Cindy, what are you doing back there?
People have spoken on Tim Allen. They actually have they've been running the Home Improvement 2, the Tim Allen show, for like 5 years. It doesn't have that title, but it's essentially the exact
it's
same
like Last
show.
Man Standing, I think. Anyway, let's talk the game. So, Peyton Manning not involved in this game, as we know. But you know who is? Andrew Luck. And you know who else is? Trevor Siemian, a guy that maybe got a little overhyped about his play in that game, but he made some plays in that football game, that opener. Mark, what were your takeaways? Clear-eyed, concise takeaways. Throw out, all the hyperbole. How did you think Trevor Siemian played?
Better than last year's Broncos quarterbacks. And with the way this team is set up, I think at some point they're going to transition to Paxton Lynch, but Trevor Siemian throws the ball better than Mark Sanchez did. And I would say that in the end that John Elway will be viewed favorably for not overpaying Brock Osweiler, as we discussed a few weeks ago. I think Trevor Siemian is a good bridge to Paxton Lynch. I think he'll be fine.
The Broncos are going to be better than the Colts at, 21 out of the 22 positions on the field in this game? They should blow the Colts out early, and if they don't and they let it come down to Andrew Luck versus Trevor Siemian with the game on the line, they could be in trouble. But it's hard to see the Broncos' defensive personnel not taking advantage of the Colts' offensive line, or the Broncos' offensive personnel and C.J. Anderson not taking advantage of a wretched Colts defense.
I don't think you can overstate how dominant Denver's offensive line was in the running game last week. when I watched that
Fullback too.
they destroyed Carolina, who we think of as a front seven. So as a good front seven, they absolutely dominated them. And so if you've got that kind of dominance in the running game, now that it's really the Gary Kubiak offense, and they're doing that in week 1. That's scary, and also scary is that they got Shaq Barrett and Shane Ray coming off the bench, and you're practically not losing anything at this point. Shane Ray and Shaq Barrett are getting better and better.
I think this is one of a string of games for the Colts. We're going to get it. Their offense, they can score points, but they are just an incomplete roster. What concerns me about Denver, obviously, with Demaryius Thomas, said this week that he has concerns about coming out of his cuts and getting hit with the hip injury he has. He's obviously not 100%. But the way that they ran the ball, C.J. Anderson is set up for a huge season in this offense, and I don't see it slowing down. He's going to have a huge week against Indianapolis, barring a stunner.
You going to lock it up?
No.
I know. As we were talking about this, I was thinking this would be a logical lock. Because they're probably they're big time favorite.
I like my locks to have a little bit of flavor. This is a little bit too block and tackle for me. In fact, I like them to be wrong quite a bit. So that's where I'm going.